His wife said, "Don't stop. Don't stop. Drive around it." Don't trust that man, you see. However, the man was unavoidable because he was in the middle, it's on a bridge. And most bridge is, one way going that way and another that way. Is a single lane. Narrow bridge, pastor said. And he knows about narrow bridges. Sometimes you get on these narrow bridges, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, even in Illinois, when you get on it, you pray. Because when you look down there, there's water down there, and it's a one-lane bridge. Me pray over you put time, From we leave down St. Louis coming back to Chicago, and we get on the narrow bridge up there in Alton, Illinois. Man, me pray so much. Them big truck pass you can't see nothing. Nothing you can't see. Anyway, let me get back to the script. President Smith, sticking to the script. So anyway, we were here on my script. They were, of course, driving slowly, and certainly the man is there waving his hands in the middle of the road, screaming frantically, and his wife said, "Don't stop, drive around him." However, the man was unavoidable, and the minister looked at his wife and said, "Lock the door after him, and do not unlock it until you return." So you know what happened. He was stepping out of the car. So he stepped out of his car, and his family was now crying and asking him not to go. He went out of the car to grab the man, but became soaking wet also himself, but could not make out what the man was waving frantically about. And after a minute, getting closer to this gentleman, the screaming man screaming his head off, the man, of course, he found out what this man was saying. The man was saying to everybody and to him, the bridge was out.
Praise the Lord.
We reached that, let me say that again. The man without his shirt was soaking wet. He was telling the preacher man that the bridge was out.
Glory to God.
And he was telling him that a busload of children just went over the bridge. So he stayed in the driving rain to stop and tell them that the bridge was out. What a man, Reverend.
What's up? Let's go. Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as the words registered with the minister preacher, and he looked back in the car with his wife and two daughters, he wrapped his arms around the man with gratitude.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Yes, sir. Glory. Wow.
Wrapped his arms around the man with love. For the next half an hour, the minister preacher stood there in the middle of the road, waving his jacket, screaming, "The bridge is out." Friends, the story asks, where are the men and women who are standing in the middle of the road today, screaming, "The bridge is out"? For a lost and dying world, the bridge is out. Where are those, ladies and gentlemen, who will stand in the gap? Pastor Dillon, where are those Sister Dillon, who will prevent the speeding mass from going over the bridge. Brothers and sisters, do you see hope? Do you see trust or mistrust in that story? Do you see trust or mistrust in that story? Yes. I ask you, what have you seen, friends? Would you please share the story with others and tell them that the bridge is out? Tell them that the bridge is out. Pastor Dillon, I thank you for enabling me this afternoon to share these words at Redemption Way Church of God, 9545 Colfax Avenue in Chicago, 60617. Just not a place to go, but a place to grow. Thank you, Pastor. I appreciate you. And I love you, Pastor. And I love your church family. As we continue, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate our nation's 55th year as an independent nation, let us always be mindful of these words of our national anthem. Teach us true respect for all, stir response to duty's call. As I close, let me tell you that I called God this morning. I said, this is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? And Matthew came to the phone. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you, close quote. I said, this is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? And John came to the phone, Pastor. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in me, believe also. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. I said, this is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? And Mark came to the phone. What shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? I said, this is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? And Job came to the phone. Yes. And though after my skin worm destroy this body, yet in my flesh will I see God. I said, this is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? Yes. And Luke came to the phone. Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of God. Yes. This is a long-distance call. Who is paying for this call? And Jesus touched him on the shoulder and said, I have already paid the price. May the good Lord bless and keep you. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warmly upon your face. And may the rain softly. May the rains fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may the good Lord hold you in the palm of his hands. That the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and our Redeemer. Thank you, and God bless you.
You just heard Council Lord Hyde speaking at Redemption Church of God at her 55th anniversary. And
We give God praise. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across